Begin by safely raising and supporting the vehicle and remove the rear wheels. For additional assistance with those tasks, please see our articles and videos by following the link provided at the end of this video. The parking brake is electronic, therefore there are no handles or cables that need to be worked on. In order to handle the caliper during the removal process, you will need to disconnect the wear sensor from the electrical line. Release the electrical connector by using a flathead screwdriver and rotating it to release the clip indicated by the red arrow. Next, remove the two T55 torque caliper mounting bolts, red arrows. Always replace these bolts, they are single use only. Once the caliper can be removed from the rotor, you will need to handle it carefully as to not stress or damage the brake line. Never let the caliper hang by the brake line. If the brake line snaps or starts to bleed, you will need to replace the line and bleed the system. You must support the weight of the caliper with a rope or hanger. You can now remove the two locating screws, red arrows, holding the rotor to the flange. There is a good chance these screws will be stuck if it is the first time they are being removed. Use an impact driver to help break them loose. Once you remove the screws, use care as the rotor is now free. The rotors are extremely heavy and you do not want to drop it. Depending on the age of the rotor and where you live, you might need to tap the bell of the rotor or use a screwdriver in between the cooling slots on the edge to break the rotor free. This image shows the adjuster with the hub off, red arrow. The parking brake shoe is still holding the rotor. You may need to make this adjustment before getting the rotor fully off. Rotate the rotor until you can see the adjustment fixture. As you locate the adjuster, pay attention to how it is oriented. Depending on how it was installed, will determine which direction will expand or contract. In this image, the adjustment gear is pointing down on the passenger side. Therefore, rotating the gear towards the front of the car will contract, while rotating the gear towards the back will expand the brake shoe spanner. Rotate the adjustment gear until the brake shoe spanner is fully retracted. Here you can see the spreader lever at the end of the parking brake mechanism, red arrow. You're going to be removing and reinstalling both retaining springs on the brake pads, blue arrows. This job can be incredibly frustrating if you do not have the right tool. Do yourself a huge favor and buy or borrow a brake pad spring compressor tool. It makes the job simple and safe. Remove both springs by pressing them in all the way to the pads and turning them 90 degrees. With the springs removed, you can remove the springs holding both parking shoes together. We recommend starting with the spring on the spreader lever side by using a flathead screwdriver, red arrow. Remove the other spring from the adjustment wheel side, red arrow. Be sure to hold on to the brake shoes once the spring is removed, as this spring is the last component holding the assembly together. Remove the adjuster and the pads from the spreader. Take note of the pad orientation as the opening in the pads for the springs must go back in the same direction. Zip tie the spreader lever, red arrow. Installation is the reverse of removal. Make sure the springs are securely connected to the wheel carrier. Please see our article and video on parking brake adjustment for additional assistance on setting the parking brakes by following the link provided at the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and check out another video in this series.